What's up, y'all? It's your girl, El Rochelle, the Hardwood Diva, and I am here today, December 2nd. Yeah, December. I just said that. It's crazy. For our NBA games to watch for this week. So, first up, Monday, we've got the Atlanta Hawks versus the San Antonio Spurs. It's going to be 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on League Pass. Atlanta, as always, kind of one of those middling teams. They do okay. They're not the greatest. They're not the worst. They're just kind of hanging there in the middle. Then the San Antonio Spurs, as always, are at the top of the Western Conference and still just doing their best. They're one of those quiet teams very few people pay attention to, but they're still one of the best. Expect to see them, of course, into the playoffs. So no surprise that they're at the top of the Western Conference right now. Then at 7 p.m., we've got the Indiana Pacers versus the Portland Trail Blazers. These are two top teams, top team in the East and one of the top teams in the Western Conference. A lot of people are surprised to see Portland that high. I mean, myself, I am. I know Portland was a good team. They have a young nucleus with Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge, but you should definitely have expected to see good things from them. I just didn't expect them to be so high in the West right now. But watching them play, it makes a lot of sense. They played the Lakers last night, and they did lose a lead. But a team like that, how you judge their play is how they hold on in the end, and they did a very good job of doing that. So was really excited about the matchup then with the Indiana Pacers. So I definitely think that's going to be a good game. This one's at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and it's also on League Pass. Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. on NBA TV, we have the Detroit Pistons versus the Miami Heat. Detroit has a nice guard core. It's always interesting to see how some of these quicker teams play against the Miami Heat. Miami, of course, now after a touch and go beginning of November, they're definitely doing much better, kind of riding it out, having that fun again, photo bombing and video bombing folks all over town. So this is definitely a team that's a lot more relaxed and definitely coming into their own this season. December should be pretty good for them as well. We won't really see much of a test for them until the beginning of the year, as you often see with championship teams. So there you have it for the Miami Heat and Detroit Pistons. Then 7:30 p.m. on League Pass, we have the Toronto Raptors versus the Golden State Warriors. I mean, this should be a good game. Any game to me with Golden State is actually a good game. Watching them play is awesome. They're very energetic, and with a coach like Mark Jackson, they're very much so a basketball playing team. They enjoy it, and you can tell when they're playing. It's sad to hear about Andre Iguodala. They were just kind of starting to gel with him. But we'll see what happens. I definitely still think this team has the opportunity to do very well on into the playoffs. So make sure to catch that game, 7:30 p.m. on League Pass. Wednesday at 5 p.m. on League Pass, we have the Phoenix Suns versus Houston Rockets. Now, these are both teams that are kind of right now in the middle of the pack. Well, Houston's kind of they're both in the middle of the pack. Houston's doing okay. Phoenix Suns are doing better than expected. So I'm really excited to see them. I think it'll be a good game to watch these types of teams that are fairly quick with the ball, kind of move it around, make sure to get their big men involved. This should be a very good game to watch. 7 p.m. on League Pass. My game to watch, probably one of the tops of the entire week, I would say, is the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Portland Trail Blazers. Portland, Oklahoma City, and the San Antonio Spurs are the tops in the West right now, and watching them play is amazing. So when they play against one another, it definitely shows. To me, this is going to show where Portland really is. When they play the big teams, they're also going to be playing, they're playing these teams like Indiana. They're playing San Antonio later this week. Indiana's playing San Antonio later this week. But these teams where you're starting to see how well they're really doing when they go up against really great competition. So I want to see how Oklahoma City handles the Portland Trail Blazers, if the Portland Trail Blazers kind of bow or if they actually are able to put up a real fight. So it should be a very interesting game. Thursday, I have 3 games only because there are, first of all, only 3 games on Thursday, and all 3 games are good to watch for different reasons. The first game, 4 p.m. on TNT, Knicks versus Brooklyn. Now, this is an interesting game to watch only because both of these teams should be doing much better. However, they're terrible, especially the Knicks. I believe the last time I checked this morning, the Knicks are 3-13. That's really, really bad. Like, horrible. So, they lost to, like, the Pelicans. And, I mean, no offense, Pelicans, but they lost to the Pelicans. So, this is going to be entertaining for the simple fact it's not this battle for New York or whatever people thought it was, because no one in New York even wants to claim either of these 2 teams at this point. So, there's that. The game I also thought was really interesting to watch, the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis isn't doing as well as we would like to see them doing, but they always have a battle versus the Clippers, so I think it's very entertaining. This one's going to be 5 p.m. on League Pass. Catch that. And then the second game on TNT, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. On TNT, is going to be Miami Heat versus Chicago Bulls. Now, of course, this game's a little different than it was supposed to be a couple of weeks ago, now that Derrick Rose is officially out again. But it still is a good game to watch, and it kind of tests where Chicago can be without Derrick Rose. Can they really put up a fight? So we'll get to see that versus the Miami Heat. Friday, 5 p.m., Golden State versus Houston. Young team. Let's see how they battle it out. Future of the West, as some people have called it. We'll see if this is really what it is, if Houston really has the muscle to put up a really good fight versus Golden State. 7 p.m. on League Pass, the Lakers versus Sacramento. This isn't necessarily the most, or pitting the best teams against each other, but they're entertaining. Sacramento always seems to put up a fight and definitely is entertaining versus the Los Angeles teams, especially Lakers. They have a little bit of history, even those long gone years of cowbell and all that craziness. But I definitely think this still should be a good game to watch. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. on League Pass, the Indiana Pacers versus the San Antonio Spurs. Now, this is a very good possibility of an NBA Finals. There are a lot of people that would say they wouldn't want to see this game because both of these teams are very methodical. They're very basketball-minded, very get the ball, pass the ball, shoot the ball. Not a lot of flair and flash, but of course they get it done because both of them are tops in their conference. However, I actually think this could be entertaining. And would like to see what a possible matchup would give us. Now, if I don't like it, then I'll say, of course, no, I don't want to see 4 to 7 games of this. However, it may be more entertaining than we think, and we actually might want to see this in the finals in June. But we won't know until we watch. So I'm ready to watch and see what the Indiana Pacers and the San Antonio Spurs give us on Saturday. 7 p.m. on NBA TV, the Dallas Mavericks versus the Portland Trail Blazers. I picked this game because there wasn't anything else that was that entertaining to me. Portland's good, so they're good to watch. Dallas just kind of hangs on, so it'll be entertaining to see how they do against the Portland Trail Blazers. Sunday, 3 p.m. on League Pass, Miami versus Detroit. I believe this is the second time this week I picked that. I just like watching the Detroit Pistons play against the Miami Heat. Brandon Jennings does really well against the Miami Heat, so I want to see how he does a couple times this week, at home or on the road. So we've got both of them. 4 p.m. on League Pass, Indiana versus Oklahoma City. Another possible matchup for the finals. This may be a tad bit more entertaining for some people because, of course, Oklahoma City has a little more flair than the San Antonio Spurs. So we'll see. We'll see how this works, how each of these teams match up against potential finals foes. So let's see what we get. There you have it, folks. I am excited about this basketball week. I won't be truly excited about basketball until like Christmas time. Everybody knows it's like the official start to basketball, once football kind of is slowly going away and we're paying more attention, a lot of those matchups are a lot more entertaining from then on, especially since this is still early in the season and a lot can change. A lot can change between now and April when we start the playoffs. So, there you have it, folks. My picks for the week. Let me know what you think. Holla at me in the comments. I'll talk to you later.